Hello, and thank you for joining us today. I'm John Beeman with the McGraw Council. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving, a very profitable Black Friday, and that you were hopefully able to get some good rest over the weekend as well. Kind of let that turkey and pumpkin pie digest a little bit, so to speak. Now, I just want to take a few just a few minutes today to discuss some Black Friday sales statistics. I think it's a very important conversation for small business owners because we're not talking about where money is being spent as much as how the money is being spent, and that's the part that's very applicable to small business owners, whether you're in retail, whether you're a restaurant, maybe you're providing a service of some kind. I think there are some very important tidbits to take away here. So with that, let's get into a few very interesting statistics. The National Retail Federation is actually expecting an increase in holiday sales this year compared to last year, even with everything going on with COVID, even though unemployment, we had that really weird time where it was massive. The National Retail Federation is expecting an increase in holiday sales of about 3.6 to 5.2%. But here's the interesting part with all of this. This second part comes from CNBC, by the way. In-store foot traffic for retail is down, or on Black Friday, right? Let's get more specific. On Black Friday, in-store foot traffic was down 52%. With that being said, online sales were up 21%, which brought the total to around $9 billion on Black Friday alone. Needless to say, that was a record Black Friday, and it's expected to be the second biggest day of sales in the United States, second only to today, Cyber Monday. And that also brings into another funny couple statistics, and we'll tie it all in together here, but just track with me, according to the Strawhiker Group, which is kind of like a think tank for merchant processing, 64% of consumers expect to spend more this holiday season than they did last year. In addition, 61% of those consumers also had a positive experience with contactless payment and expect to continue to use it in the future. So when we're looking at all this data, there are a couple of things to really keep an eye on. First and foremost, the point of purchase has changed. Traditionally, it's going to be heavily reliant upon foot traffic, getting people into your storefront, getting people into your physical brick and mortar space where you can then throw the sales, the discounts, get to show them all the gadgets, the gizmos, so on and so forth. Not really happening this year. It's no longer in that brick and mortar realm like it used to be. All of the sales are taking place, but they're taking place online. And that's the biggest shift that we're seeing this year. We saw it throughout the year 2020, especially early March when we went lockdown. Restaurants had to adapt. That's kind of like the stereotypical view of the COVID economy. Everything's gone digital, but it's no longer just a stereotype. I mean, we're getting numbers and data on it to really solidify that. So the application as a small business owner needs to be this. What are you doing to digitalize your sales process? Nowhere in these statistics does it say the product or service was 100% delivered online. A lot of these products or services are being picked up. Some of them are being delivered, sure. Some of them are taking place online, absolutely. The big thing is the point of purchase, where that purchase decision is being made, that is happening in the online/slash virtual space. It's not like it used to be where it was the traditional, we're all going to go for a walk on Black Friday, go through a little old downtown, we're going to see what's on sale, have fun with that. That didn't happen this year. That foot traffic was down 52%, but it did not translate to a decrease in overall sales. That sales number moved. Rather than taking place in person, it took place online. So the question that we business owners need to be asking is, what does our sales process look like? And we have one of our board of advisor members, Chad Tonko with Premier's Market Development, talks about this all the time. Know your customer journey. Think of it in like 5 steps, basically. You're going to have that trigger/awareness moment. You're going to have initial consideration. You're going to have active consideration. Then you're going to have your purchase decision. And then you're going to have your loyalty loop. That awareness/trigger moment, that used to take place in store, or maybe they would see some sort of signage, near that shopping area. That has changed this year. No longer is that the case. No longer is that the scenario that we're in. Your customer journey, yeah, I would be willing to bet a lot on it. Your customer's journey is going to be very, very digitally based. So what are you as a business owner doing to meet the customer there? What are you doing to make your purchase process easy, seamless, and easily accessible. Because if it takes more than a handful of clicks, if it takes them actually having to go to the brick and mortar location to just finalize the purchase, that's not where the economy is going. If there's one thing we can conclusively draw from 2020 in the proactive business sense, it's that consumer behavior, consumer purchasing is going digital. And we're seeing statistics telling us that with Black Friday, with Cyber Monday, with holiday sales, even contactless payment, the consumer is getting more comfortable with digital purchasing, with digital selling. They are expecting us as small businesses to go out and meet them where they are, which is in that digital space. So I'll give you a hypothetical example here. Think of like a traditional retail store. Yes, they're going to have their brick and mortar. However, whereas they would traditionally rely on that foot traffic to get people into the store, they're going to have to meet people in the online world. It could be Facebook, it could be Instagram, it could be Snapchat, it could be Google Ads, it could be a wide variety of different things. But if you look at where consumers are spending their time and where they're making their purchases, it's all online. We as small business owners need to find a way to get our businesses out in front of that, get our businesses in that digital space, because once we're there, we're going to have a much better chance for success. And we're also going to be able to stay ahead of the game. I mean, again, the statistics aren't showing that we're going back to foot traffic, brick and mortar, traditional selling. That sales process is taking online. That customer journey is being completed virtually. Many businesses are seeing that 100% of that. Even for what we do at the McGraw Council, a lot of our interaction is 100% virtual. And I'll be the first person to tell you that you'll never beat a handshake, looking someone in the eye and all that. 100% agree. However, look at the data. The data is pointing to online purchasing. So look at your business, look at your customer journey, and identify where you can make that purchase process easier for your consumers. Put yourself in your customer's shoes. Think and really develop that customer journey map. Where do you develop the awareness / trigger? Where do they go to initial consideration, where they're kind of like, oh, that's a cool gadget, that's interesting, to active consideration, saying, all right, how much does this thing actually cost? How do I get to using it? And then purchase decision. Those last 3 steps, really 4, are all online. And then, of course, once you get to loyalty loop, that's really going to be heavily reliant upon your digital / virtual interaction. So please, the biggest takeaway for today, identify and know your customer journey map and make that purchase process able to be completed online. If it requires you to be in person, it better be a very large transaction ticket, because that's kind of going away in terms of volume. We're not seeing the foot traffic to generate that type of return on a consistent basis. You need to be able to excel in that virtual space. And before we get going with the rest of the day, I do want to bring up two more tidbits real quick, just to keep an eye on things coming down the road, down the pipeline, so to speak. This is more for the first quarter of 2021, maybe even the second quarter. According to CNBC, the Consumer Confidence Index hit an all-time low recently at 48. And again, through the holiday sales, it's not anticipated to be much of an issue. But fast forwarding into the first quarter of 2021, that's probably when you're going to see it most. And then the other one, again, this is according to CNBC as well, keep a sharp eye on the Georgia Senate runoff race, because that will likely determine the tax policies that get implemented from a legislative standpoint. Again, as a 501c3, we don't get into the political game. We're not going to be talking about that. However, that race will determine which way the tax policy leans. If the left wins it, tax policies are going to lean left. If the right wins it, tax policies are going to lean right. But one of the big takeaways is there is an opportunity. It's called the Qualified Business Income Deduction. It's really built for pass-through entities, 20%, up to 20%. So it's something that you need to be aware of. Talk to your CPA. If you don't have one, you definitely want to find one. If you're looking to forecast future cash and tax planning, probably want to talk to a CFO or a fractional CFO firm, get an idea for what's coming down the pipeline. Those are 2 specific things that could very much have a very real impact to small businesses in the first half of 2021. So just keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that consumer confidence index and that Georgia Senate runoff race, because that will likely determine what type of tax policy is implemented. With that, we're going to wrap on up here, but please keep the conversation going. If you saw a change in consumer behavior in your business, if you saw consumers purchasing more online, or maybe they purchased less than last year, maybe more, if there was a change, drop it in the comments box. Let's keep the conversation going. Let's continue to collaborate with each other so that we as a small business community can truly unite and thrive together. We're not going to make it alone, guys. We need to be able to stand together to share our knowledge. And remember, a boutique in Dallas, Texas isn't competing with the boutique in Chicago, Illinois. Two very, very different markets, but we have the same goal and we can help each other succeed. Make sure to like our Facebook page, give us a follow. Let's get the comments going, get the conversation, continue to keep it rolling. And remember, as always, we're bullish on the American dream and we're bullish on your future. Y'all stay safe and stay blessed.